Good morning. Did you know that courts are profit centers? Every court case makes money for the court through Federal Reserve. Is there no end to the unjust enrichment? New concepts to the credit of the court and deposit into the court registry made through depositories authorized to accept deposits on behalf of the Treasury Department of the United States. Each case has its own account. And the clerk is the custodian of the account. Gives new meaning to the phrase, the business of the court. It ain't justice, that's for sure. It's a freaking money machine, legalized plunder, and this isn't a conflict of interest and a financial interest. How? Do you think they are paying any taxes on the total aggregate income received or the income earned? That's a good question. Rhetorical question. Court Registry Investment System, 2,690 results. Google search link. If above link does not produce a search, just Google the phrase above in quotes. Text from first link from New Hampshire, U.S. District Court Local Rules. 67.2, deposit of registry funds into interest-bearing account. A receipt of funds. 1. Unless an applicable statute requires a deposit of funds without leave of court, no funds governed by federal regulation civil, page 67, shall be tendered to the court or the clerk's office for deposit into the court's registry absent court order signed by a judge. 2. All funds received by the court or the clerk's office for any case pending or in the process of adjudication shall be deposited with the Treasurer of the United States in the name and to the credit of this court, pursuant to 28 U.S.C. and 2041. Such deposits, let me come this way so I can see better. Such deposits shall be made through depositories authorized to accept deposit on behalf of the Treasury Department of the United States. 3. The party making the deposit or transferring funds to the court's registry shall serve the order permitting the deposit or transfer on the clerk of the court in the clerk's absence upon the chief deputy clerk or financial administrator. The procedures for the receipt and handling by the clerk of any funds, this is 4. The procedures for the receipt and handling by the clerk of any funds deposited with the court shall not be waived except by order of the court. Any such order submitted for the court's consideration must reflect the clerk's signature. B. Up to 4. Investment of registry funds. The motion and proposed order setting forth the matter in which the funds will be deposited in an interest-bearing account or invested in the interest-bearing instrument must be submitted prior to the tender of such funds to the court. 1. Court Registry Investment System. A. Unless otherwise ordered, the Court Registry Investment System, page 1. 3. Crisis Administration through the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas shall be the investment mechanism authorized. B. Under CRIS, C-R-I-S. Monies deposited in each case under subsection A1 will be pooled together with those on deposit with the Treasury to the credit of other courts in CRIS, C-R-I-S, and used to purchase Treasury securities, which will be held at the Federal Reserve Bank, the Dallas-Houston branch, in a safekeeping account in the name and to the credit of the clerk. I think that means judges' retirement funds. Holy cow! The custodian is the clerk of the court. C. A separate account for each case will be established in CRIS titled in the name of the case, giving rise to the investment. All income received from each investment will be distributed on a pro rata basis based on the ratio of each account's principal to the total aggregate income received. Weekly reports indicating the amount of principal contributed and the income earned will be prepared and distributed to each court participating in CRIS, C-R-I-S, and shall also be made available to the parties to the action or their counsel. 2. Other investments and instruments. Should an investment mechanism other than CRIS be utilized, the written stipulation filed by counsel must contain the following information. A through G. The amount to be invested, the form of interest-bearing account or instrument. C. The name and address and the federally insured local institution where the deposit is to be made or by whom the interest-bearing instrument is to be issued. D. The name and address, social security number of taxpayer identification number of the party or parties with a real potential interest in the deposit or instrument. Real or potential interest in the deposit or instrument sounds like taxpayer who has real interest in the instrument might have to pay taxes on that gain. The form of additional collateral to be posted by the private institution in the event that a standard FDIC or FSLIC coverage is insufficient to insure the total deposit. F. A direction to the clerk to deduct from the income earned on the investment a fee not exceeding that authorized by the Judicial Conference of the United States and set by the Director of Administration Office as published in the Federal Register. G. Such other appropriate information that may be deemed applicable under the facts and circumstances of the particular case. Upon court order to deposit, I wonder if that means how long the person will actually be in jail and how long you'll be making money on that bond account. Upon court order to deposit and invest registry funds locally, the clerk shall serve as custodian of the account or financial instrument and shall keep such account, certificate of deposit, or financial instrument in a secure and safe place subject to further order of the court. Registry investment fee pursuant to 28 U.S.C. And this rule for custodian. Holy cow. This is amazing. No wonder they like traffic tickets. Oh, where are we? Courts. Is authorized and directed to deduct the registry fee. The proper registering fee shall be determined on the basis of rates authorized by the Judicial Conference again. The authorized custodian of an investment account shall deposit such fee with the Treasury Department to the Credit and Administration Office of the United States Courts. In cases where funds are ultimately dispersed to the United States or to agencies or officials thereof, the clerk shall refund the registry fee to those agencies or official upon application filed with the court. Cash bail. If cash bail in an amount in excess of $10,000, because you have to report anything over $10,000 in the bank account, is deposited with the court, it may be placed in an interest-bearing account upon motion of the submitting party. Page 2 of the 3 deposits shall comply in all respects with the requirements of this rule, except that there shall be no administration fee assessed. 28 U.S.C. Deposit of monies in pending or adjudicated cases. All monies paid into court of the United States or received by the officers thereof in any case pending or adjudicated in such court shall be forthwith deposited with the Treasury of the United States or a designated depository in the name and to the credit of such court. The section shall not prevent the delivery of any such money to the rightful owners upon security, according to agreement of parties under the direction of the court. Next case. I see here you're charged with a $10,000 fine. You're guilty. Pay the clerk. Next case. So, yeah. There's not much else to say about that except for follow the rules, don't break the laws, stay within the lines, color within the lines, be a good little sheep, don't get yourself in trouble. Or you could be like the rest of everybody who's bringing each case to the forefront to bring light to the fraud and helping reduce the debt of the U.S. corporation. I don't know how this is all going to end. I just know that Jesus threw the moneylenders out. There was something fishy going on. It's the only time he ever got upset. You know, you could be upset about what I just said. You could think that Jesus never existed. You could think that that story was a lie. All that stuff. All those stories we got read before we went to bed when we were kids, stories, metaphors, were all designed to have us learn a lesson. And the lesson in this one is the money lenders were thrown out of the temple. And the word, separation of church and state may not mean what we think it means. Church and state. Church and state. Not state, but maybe state, spirit, and ego, separation, fall from grace. I don't know. The goal is to connect them back together and forgive everyone, yourself, and get back on Papa's lap. That's what we're all trying to do. In the meantime, I hope this has been informational for you. Thanks. Have a good day.